Have you heard the new version of the Chapel Roan song "Hot to Go"?
No, but I love that song.
HOTTOGS.
Perfect.
Hot dogs are my best friend.
Perfect.
It's the Scott and Alley Not for Air podcast. The rules are gone. The shirt is untucked. Here's Scott and Alley.
Hey, before we officially start the Scott and Alley Not for Air podcast, can I ask, am I a little too gym teacher chic and you haven't mentioned anything to me?
You absolutely are.
Yeah, I got two of these sort of...
Where's your whistle?
There you go. They're very thin, and I really like them because we're having this... Okay, so here we are in mid-August, and normally it's 95 degrees right now. We're having this weird kind of almost 2-week spell where it's like not even hitting the mid-80s. And I'm like, oh, this is the perfect kind of thin sweatshirty type thing. And it's a little gym teacher chic here, I think.
You look like you're Sue Sylvester's assistant.
Wow, way to whip out the Glee reference.
You start singing, then...
Start doing push-ups.
Yeah, right?
But it's so comfortable. Did you...
No, it'd be like, start doing push-ups.
I'm going to come over. You got to feel this material. It's
okay.
that good. It's so nice. Hey, this is ridiculous how close we are. Feel how nice that is.
Oh, that's so nice.
It's so soft.
It is so soft. Did you get that at Costco?
What? No. Actually, I think I got it
Sam's
at Sam's
Club?
Club. No, this one I got from the
We talked about that on a previous podcast. How we buy our clothes at Costco and Sam's Club now.
We've reached that point in life.
Oh, yeah,
No.
for sure. They're good for joggers. I love getting a good jogger at Sam's or Costco.
My buddy Terry has all their golf shirts. He's a golfer. So
that is exactly where you would buy a cheap golf shirt.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
It
When you don't
works.
want to pay $80 at Dick's.
No.
Yeah, you just go for the Sam's.
That's it.
Sam has a good golf shirt.
Yes, it does.
Look what I brought with me today. Actually, no, speaking of clothes. So I get a lot of ads on my Instagram that are clothes related. It might be like Shein or whatever.
Yeah.
And the one that I got cracks me the heck up. So apparently I must have... Oh, I talked about church to you today.
Yes.
So, our phones are always listening. And I get this shirt suggestion. We're now, for anybody who's listening at a different time of year, this is broaching fall time.
Yeah.
So the shirt suggestion that came up that says, are you Following Jesus?
Following Jesus. Wow, what a combination, because we have talked, okay, such proof that our phones listen. We have talked...
I love this shirt. I want it so much.
That's a perfect shirt. On the show today that we did before we did the podcast, we had a discussion about Halloween, more than one, because, pumpkin spice is out now. So they've actually mashed together. Somehow your phone is now pulling together the thing you told me off air about going to church and the thing you told me on air about Halloween.
Okay, I have to
Which, by the way, in my email randomly, I've started. Okay, so I was helping 6059. She had a car insurance renewal. Suddenly, emails come flying in about cheaper car insurance.
Oh yes,
why? This is terrifying.
Well, I do like that though, because they say you're supposed to shop every 2 or 3 years.
Oh, for car insurance, yeah.
Car insurance, home insurance, just insurance. And people don't really do it. So, yes, give me a cheaper rate.
Oh, sure.
Don't make me do the work.
Just the irony that pops in. I mean, anytime I have a, shall we say, sexy conversation, why do I get eHarmony emails? I have, what is going on?
Hold on. We're going to get to that in a second, too.
Great.
But what was I going to tell you?
Well, you were on the Jesus shirt, the Hollow Jesus. What was it? What did the shirt say?
Oh, are you following Jesus?
Following Jesus.
And it's orange, and it's got, let's see, hold on. Here, hold on. So, there you go. Can you see it?
Oh, God, yes.
And it looks like, it is a Shein. Oh, it's a Shein ad.
Oh.
Or Shein, whatever. Anyway, I have to tell everyone what I was telling you off the air. So I go to this church, and there's this girl. Now, I can't sing. I am not a good singer. I sing all the time, but I am terrible at it.
Yeah.
But there's this girl up at the front, and she just belts it out so much.
She has the Lord in her.
Oh, my gosh. She's like, I have decided to follow Jesus. And I'm like, How was there not auditions? I mean, I think there should be auditions for this job.
You know,
like you're not going to put somebody who can't drum up there.
It reminds me, my mom, God bless Betty. God, she was judgmental as all shit. But
I don't know where you get it from.
Yeah, right. And my mom, now she was a good singer, and she was in choir for, I mean, decades. My godmother was in choir with her back in like the 60s when they were younger, or
so
50s.
cute.
Whatever. And but boy, I'll never forget going to church, and she'd be like, "Oh, so and so up in the choir, they can't." And she was in the choir, but if she was like, it was some mass that she wasn't able to be in the choir. Oh, so and so can't sing to save their life. Oh, listen to that. I'm like, wow.
So
you're
it's
just
funny.
here for the words, and there it is.
My parents are both on the AV team. Like my dad leads the audiovisual team at his church, and my mom is now on the team. I think she's the one that does all of the like song lyrics. So, basically typing some words in, clicking next, which that's the other thing. Whoever does
she's writing songs for the Lord now?
No. Like they put the words up at the front on like a projector.
Do they really?
Yeah. So my mom does that, or like if somebody's speaking up at the front, then it'll be like Pastor Mike Payne, and then all of a sudden it pops up on the screen up at the front. It's Pastor Todd Reynolds or whatever. And the church is
I feel behind even with a second collection at the Catholic masses. Jeez.
Oh, church is super high tech. Actually, we have an intern here who is really good at like the mixing side of things.
Yeah.
And we had recently said like maybe he should go into not this career. Like not that we don't like you, but like don't stay here.
No,
because
it didn't sound like that at all.
Well, don't stay here because we're not playing to your strengths. So we had said he would be really good with such and such.
Are we playing to anyone's strengths in this building? Look
No,
at us.
Not even our own.
Thank you.
But we said we don't want to have him here when he can better serve at like a concert company. And we named one. And I said to our boss,
that'd be good for him.
Well, and I said to our boss, I said, actually, my old church has like a concert style mixing board. So Scott, yeah, you are behind the times. Like even my dad, when my dad came to town, he's like, get me up in that room. I need to see that mixing board. Oh yeah, they definitely have taken a second collection. That's for dang
big
sure.
Screens at the church with names going up, does that get you closer to the Lord? I'm just curious.
I do
I
do like seeing the name, but here's the thing. So at my church, kind of maybe somebody was on vacation. They're not even switching. So all of a sudden I'm singing a song, blah, 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 blah. Well, then the person either fell asleep back there or whatnot. I don't know. And so then there's no words. And I'm like, then I sounded like, oh my God, coming full circle. Then I sounded like how I sounded at Winefest. So if you missed the story on the air, I wasn't really drinking that much. And Shabuzi Tipsy was playing, and I forgot the words. So I'm on stage singing into the mic, but I didn't remember the words. And I was like,
this is great.
Sounded hammered, which was also me at church yesterday because they don't have the words up there. I'm like, Jesus.
Somebody's been hitting the blood of Christ a little early.
Yes. Okay,
No, you just got to follow the lady up front. Jesus, can you hear me?
Oh, I know what I was going to tell you, though. My parents and the AV team.
Oh, yeah.
So I guess that, like Betty, there are some pretty terrible singers.
Oh, yeah.
And my parents...
But that's the group you can't tell. Don't join.
But my dad said he has definitely turned their mics down before.
Oh, that's great.
Isn't it?
I can't hear myself
I know.
sing.
And that's what they'll say that, like, Mark, can you turn me up? Oh, I got you good. You sound...
Oh, right on point. Yep,
okay, I have to show you the other thing I brought. So I was packing my bag so quickly today. Did you see that gross stain on my bag?
Yeah.
Anyway, I was packing my bag so quickly today. I accidentally grabbed
What the heck is that?
smoke detector.
You grabbed a smoke detector. Are you going to microwave that for lunch?
So it
What if the house starts on fire? You won't know.
It needs batteries. So we took it down and it was laying on a stack of, we have these like little rice bowls. And so I thought I was grabbing a rice bowl, but I grabbed a smoke detector instead.
Boy, what a mess.
I know.
Did you have a crazy weekend or something? I mean, was it so busy that you were just like disheveled this morning? Like,
I told you that our sink crapped the bed. So yes, our kitchen is definitely in shambles because whenever that happens, there was so much water underneath our sink that we had to pull everything out so it could dry underneath there. So everything is all over.
No,
in our
I
kitchen.
got you.
Yes.
Smoke detector for lunch.
That's what happened with that.
Wow.
Okay, now let me see if you would be mad if 6059 did this. You know what a wingman is, right?
Well, yeah, more or less somebody that goes along with you and kind of helps you seal the deal.
Right, exactly. How would you feel if, and you could have like a wing woman too, like we do this as well. Like
sure.
Girls will go out together or whatever. So how would you feel if...
I've heard it works better if you have a girl with you.
Right. How would
if you're a guy.
How would you feel if 6059 ended up getting the number of a guy that she thought was perfect for her friend and texted this guy to talk her up, but they were texting? How would you feel comfortable with that or no?
So she's still playing the wing person, but she's doing the work before she hands it over to...
Yes.
Well, see, here's the thing. More so... I'm not going to get pissed because I know that, she knows where her bread's buttered. How do you like that line?
Very confident in yourself.
Yeah, well, I'll hear about it. She'll come in. She'll be like, I was listening to the podcast today. So I know where my bread's buttered, do I? And it'll come out just like that.
What does that mean, by the way?
I don't know, but it's buttered. And it's the bread.
I know that you're not the only one paying the bills and
I didn't even mean it financially.
Let's be real. You're not the emotionally stable one in the relationship. So.
Wow. I'm really glad that you pointed that out.
So I want to know what that means.
No, I think, I'm going to apply that phrase to... We both are very committed to each other. She knows that I'm not going to do something. I know she's not going to do something. So in the sense of a jealousy factor, I'm not worried about that whatsoever. Here's the problem that's going to happen. If you're not in on the ground floor of those texts, you're the person that's not the wing person. You're the person that's supposed to be doing the exchanging of the messages and stuff like that. You're going to miss something, and it's going to get found out later. And I think it's going to piss the other person off that was... starting this text message with you, because they're like, well, wait, you don't remember? I told you, eventually you're going to get, it's going to catch up to you. You have to do it such a short period of time, but if you can't hand it off to the person that you're winging for,
it's real not that quick. They can't, but, I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. Even as much as I trust my significant other or my significant other trusts me.
Yeah.
I think that you're entertaining, and not that like I have guy friends, but I don't like somebody who is like, they're already in playing the game mode.
Yeah.
And I think that it would get a little too flirty even with me as the taken person.
Yeah.
So I don't like that they're like in that mode and they might say something flirtatious. And I think it just opens up a door that doesn't need to be open.
I would say that that's a safe bet. You're thinking they're already stepping into.
Yeah, as much as I trust him. And by the way, speaking of butter in the bread, I always say, now with Zach, there's no one who pays for us particularly. Everything's split financially down the middle.
Sure.
But what I like to tell Zach is, nobody else will put up with your bullshit.
That's another way to say that she knows where her bread's buttered. Yeah, because I don't mean it financially whatsoever.
So you're saying nobody else will put up with her bullshit either?
No. I'm not admitting to that. I think it's more nobody would put up with my bullshit.
Oh, yeah.
That's really the truth to it.
Go ahead.
You're right. For me, it's not the issue of the trust. For me, it's you got to hand that off real quick to the person that's got to take the reins, or something's going to get left out, or they're going to realize, because then what happens? Let's say even for a short period of time, the winger or wingy or wingette, whatever, is continuing
the winger
to do the messages. All of a sudden, now the person, they're seeing that person's text response style. Yeah. They're not seeing the other person.
And I know that people would probably say, well, you could also have that flirtation in person at a bar. But I think like for me, it's like, well, that is, and I'm not being flirtatious. I mean, I think I naturally am kind of flirtatious. But I think in the bar, it's like, I'm only seeing you this one time, one and done. Like, I'm going to talk her up. I'm going to transition.
Yeah.
We really don't need to. You should never have my phone number until you're dating for like a few months, and then I want you to have my phone number, because if something happens to my friend,
yeah, sure,
I want you to message
me. Wait a minute, how is this happening then? So I'm the wing person, yes, and I'm talking up my friend, and I continue to text with the person that I said that you would be perfect for my friend. I'm not using my friend's phone to text back and forth.
It's right. It's your phone number.
Yep. No.
That's exactly, that's how I feel too. That is too tempting.
Tempting, and it's not the real situation. You know, if they're starting to pull in with you and your style, it's not the real other person you've recommended. I wouldn't do it. I think it's too slippery of a slope.
Exactly.
Yet another euphemism.
Talk to her. You know, now I just feel like it's too much of you getting to know me, and I'm not the person you need to get to know. I will absolutely transition you at the bar. It's like a handoff.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
Here you go. It's like the Olympics. Here's the baton.
Yeah.
But that is
now run.
Right. That is the only handoff we need. We don't need to have this elongated. And I find that people get very confident in texts or when they're behind a keyboard, however, if it looks like on, phone, app, whatever. So I think that this person could get too confident.
I agree. I totally agree. You have nailed it with that.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, well.
Okay, now go ahead.
Oh, all right. Well, since we were talking about fights, how about if I do this? Social habits that secretly we can't stand. You can have that, or I can start a fight in 5 words or less. Which do you want to play with first?
Start a fight in 5 words or less.
All right, here we go. Let's see. Number 1, you're acting like your mom.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Take a little sip of coffee.
This is a very big reoccurring thing for us.
Uh-oh.
So I love my mom, but I don't want to act like my mom.
No, right.
And he'll say I'm acting like my mom, but I do it too because he acts like his dad. And I, as much as him and his dad are like best of friends, I don't think likes that either. So I'll be like, you're just like,
Yeah.
I'll say the full name. You're just like blah, blah, blah. And it kind of shuts him up.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think he realizes, because and it's so funny because his dad will bitch about things that Zach does to me. And he's not a terrible person, but like Zach has a very strong tongue. Okay. So, and not abusive strong.
Where are you taking me?
But Zach is quick with the tongue, okay? Quick with the humor. And so I don't think that Zach's parents realize that Zach and I have such a jab at each other all the time.
Yeah.
So his dad will say to him, Zach, you better be careful. Don't speak to Allie like that or whatever, where I'm like, I give it right back, right? But it's funny because his dad does the exact same stuff. And I'm like, his dad doesn't even see that he has raised his son just like him.
Exactly like him, yeah.
Oh my God. And I know that there's more than one time that I'm like my mom, but every time that Zach says it, it puts me in my place. And I'm like, oof, I feel that.
Started a fight in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exactly.
Yes.
All right. Here's, we'll give you a second one.
Okay.
Can we start a fight with hot dogs or tacos? Think about it.
I have something for you though. So speaking of hot dogs, so I know how much you love a hot dog.
Oh, I love a good hot dog.
Yes. And have you heard the new version of...
I'm beginning to think my cholesterol doesn't, but...
Have you heard the new version of the Chapel Roan song, Hot to Go?
No, but I love that song.
HOTTOGS.
Perfect.
Hot dogs are my best friend.
Perfect. It's perfect. That's exactly it. Everybody can sing it now. I love that song.
HOTTOGS. Hot dogs are my best friend. Wait,
somebody needs to steal that, like Oscar Mayer or Ballpark or something like that.
Full circle. I was complaining about the girl singing at church. Did you hear that?
Yes, I did. I turned your mic down though, like your dad would at church. So don't worry, we're good. All right, here you go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's one. Wine is better with ice. Ooh, we can fight about that. You like that? No.
It depends. That's like, it's better with ice with white. I had girlfriends over on Friday, and her and I are both big ice people, like lots of ice. Red wine, do not bastardize that.
How about mansplaining is valid communication?
Oh my God.
I spend a second on that though?
Yes.
All right. So here's the thing. I realize that the ladies hate mansplaining. I get that. But I think I might have an answer to why it happens. And
why?
Well, okay. So normally women have been the fairer sex to have I's dotted and T's crossed. Mm-hmm. Let's be real. If it is a traditional old school family, a lot of times mom's making appointments for things and she's getting the I's dotted, the T's crossed, and the details are set. And I think that there is a perceived, at least for the man side of life, there's a perceived loss of confidence in our abilities. And I'm not trying to explain that it's okay. I'm trying to say where the root of this is coming from. So I think a lot of times, as long as it's not overly condescending, because I don't think any guy goes into a mansplaining situation. I should rephrase that. Not every guy goes into a mansplaining situation thinking that, I'm going to be condescending. I think sometimes it comes across that way, but you have to realize something. If you are the let's say I'm trying to, not the breed, we'll go with breed, whatever. If you're the breed that really is known for having a lot of detailed stuff handled. And sure, appointments and stuff like that.
You could have went with gender or sex, by the way.
Yeah, that would be the words I was using. Gender or sex, the breed. But
let me woman-splain that to you.
But but you know what I'm saying? Like, you guys have always been the ones to handle a lot of that stuff. So when we do come in with something, I think a lot of times what's happening with the mansplaining, it's not intentionally to try to make you feel stupid. It's to try to be like, hey, are you recognizing I can do details too? Because we automatically assume you think we can't. I mean, wow.
No, I'm saying that might be in your case, yes.
I think that might be it.
I also think that
it's almost like a zero confidence in certain things. Like, we've allowed, this is really a man's fault if you mansplain. You've allowed the fair sex, shall I say, assuming it's a traditional family, if it's a woman that handles this, you've allowed them to do so much of this and not taken those reins that when it comes time, you don't have the confidence that the guys can do it. So what happens? We have to go into this full litany of why things are done a certain way, why we did it. This is how it's done. Almost as in a sense of like, hey, this is really my fault for not being more equal. I mean, it really is a guy problem all the way around if you're mansplaining, but you see where I'm going with this?
Yes, I agree that as far as, letting one gender take over things as opposed to the other gender. Like, just recently, I have a friend and their significant other, I think, prides themselves on not changing a diaper, which I think is appalling.
Oh, that's a disgrace.
Right. Exactly.
Change the damn diaper. You help make the baby.
Exactly. But I also think, so yes, you're right. Sometimes in our relationship, I do tend to take over the details. For instance, I said to Zach just today, and it's more so I just want to get everything situated, because I said, did you get a hold of so-and-so? Because we're painting a fence this weekend, right? So I said, did you get a hold of so-and-so? I said, okay, because I want to know about renting the sprayer. So you're right. I do tend to take the reins on that just to make sure that there's the follow through. But, and not that there wouldn't be with him, but there, for some reason, I'm afraid there wouldn't be.
No,
and I think that's because like they've just proven to me that the follow through on certain things is just not something that they enjoy doing.
Well, that's true. Or we've gotten used to you doing so much of the, the setup. It's not as though a guy, okay, we'll use your painting for an example. You're getting lots of the details put together to make sure the job gets done. Of course, he's going to be there actively doing the job and being very involved in it, getting the old hands dirty, if you will. But I guess I never thought of it that way. And I bet you a lot of guys never thought, I bet you a lot of guys and girls that hate mansplaining or don't realize that if you're a guy that you're doing it, it is almost subconscious that we're like, hey, we got to prove we're not idiots.
Yes, I think it is subconscious to a certain degree, or you've just gotten used to doing it, saying it a certain way for a long time.
Yeah.
And now we have a voice about it. This just happened yesterday. So our sink crapped the bed. He asked me to get him a wrench, a 1/2-inch wrench. But he was like, I think so. He goes, or the next size up. So I could see that he wasn't quite sure on the size. And that's fine.
Yeah.
No big deal. I run downstairs, I get the 1/2-inch wrench, but I see a bunch of other wrenches. So I just grab a bunch.
I've done this myself.
I'm like, you know what? One of these have got to fit, right? Well, the next size up, I accidentally left downstairs. And he asked me, he goes, do you know how to do fractions? I'm like, oh, you did not.
Oh,
I said, yes, I do.
that's-
He goes, well, you didn't bring the next size up. And I said, honestly, I just grabbed a bunch thinking something in here is going to fit.
You're right.
And he's like, well, the next size up is the one that I said either the 1/2 inch or the next size up. I'm like, okay, well, I brought the 1/2 inch and I just was trying to, because I didn't want to take 10 trips. I mean, who does?
I get that. No, I get
So
it.
the fact that he said,
Yeah.
do you know how to do fraction? Excuse me?
That's a little over the...
Right. He goes, well, I just want to make sure that you I don't need you to make sure of anything.
Yeah.
I graduated college. I know how to do it. I was just trying to solve a problem, a future problem.
Oh, well, right.
That I thought,
of you going up and down the
Yes.
stairs 20 times.
Yes,
I get it. I get it. No,
exactly.
that's,
Exactly. Because we didn't know exactly what the size was.
No.
And it's the same when I went to Home Depot.
Yeah, that could have been phrased better. That was
Exactly.
I'm sorry. Please don't
That's a
don't
mansplaining
take
thing.
offense to this. Anybody, Zach especially. That's douchey mansplaining.
Exactly. And that's exactly what I said. And I'm like, no, I was just trying to solve a different problem.
Yeah.
So
My version of the mansplaining would be the over explaining and really, it not the douchey version, because I feel there are variations of the mansplaining.
Oh, here's another one that just happened on Friday.
Oh boy.
It happens way too often. And I even said to Zach, you need to understand that I came from a house where gender roles were reversed. So when it comes to, actually this happened to me twice recently. So the first one is, it was our sales guy. We were driving somewhere on Saturday and I was talking about me mowing the lawn and doing all these different yard things. And I was like, oh, and then I had to clean the pool with the filter, blah, blah, blah. He goes, Allie, I just can't picture you doing these things. I'm like, what?
Wait, our sales guy said that?
Yes, yes. And I thought, well, then maybe you just don't know me that well.
Probably.
But
Yeah.
hard work is not lost on me.
No.
Or work that would normally be categorized to a certain gender is not something. That's not how it works in our house either.
I think with that relationship, where that comment came from, not that I need to make excuses for anyone, they may only see you do a certain style of work and not realize that you do another style of work. Now, if it was someone closer to you that knew you better, that would be a totally different comment.
But I didn't take offense to it, but I was just like, you obviously don't know me that well. But here's another way of mansplaining and being condescending that I don't like, is when we get credit, but in the worst way. So we had our engineer in town the other day, and he brought in a different engineer. And already, this is not going to be good. So he said to the other engineer, he's like, and do you know what Allie does? And told him a job I do. It's not going to make sense to anybody else listening, and told him a job that I do. And he's like, can you believe a woman does that? And I'm like,
I know where that came from too.
Oh
and I
my
can't
God.
believe I have to explain these things. I mean, when I say I can't believe I have to explain these things, not in a bad way, like, oh, I have to explain this to you. I know where that's coming from. Now, I'm not making an excuse for the previous
you said that twice.
well, right. But I'm seeing this from the outside in. So the salesperson that made the comment to you just doesn't know you.
No,
in
he's
that
very
regard.
new. He's new.
So, they just don't realize the person you really are. They only see a small fraction of the small amount of time that there actually is interaction with you, because we're all busy.
And mine's usually in front of a computer here.
I know where the comment came from our engineer. And that comment came from what he doesn't expect. In many situations, not all of them, please understand, any other radio show that's listening to this may not directly apply to you. But there was a traditional style, if you will, specifically with larger shows that have more than one person. We have a 2, sometimes 3-person show when Gisano comes in, things like that. Traditionally, it had always been a host, 99% of the time, a male host running the control side, and the other side of it was not doing as much of that. Very integral to the show, what your side would have been in the old version of this, but shame on those old shows for not training and not bringing up the partner. You and I, one of the things that we've always done is you and I have always been dead balls on equal when it comes to show stuff. If you're not here, I'll handle it. If I'm not here, you'll handle it. When we're here together, it's 50-50. What people don't realize is off air before we go live on air, do you want this one? Do you want me to do this one? How do you want it? Or are you up? We're always doing this. And I've had emergencies where I've had to run out of the building. You know, the kids have a sudden sickness or whatever. You were brought up in a way early on, whether you're male or female, it does not matter.
Right, you just do everything.
You learn it all because you are going to be better for everything to know all that. A lot of those older shows, because let's face it, our engineer comes from an era of broadcasting where it was, I'm the host, I'll handle everything, you sit over there and give me some fluff and laughs and maybe a little bit of color commentary. And that's not the way that the world works anymore. But the problem is that is an evolution that may not be in every single setting. So when he comes in here, what he's actually trying to do is say, this show was built right. This show knows how to do. These two can do everything, you know? I mean, except hair. I suck at doing hair.
The way it comes off, I get what you're saying. The way it comes off is terrible. And I just wish that the way that both of those people speak needs a little revamp.
Well, it does, and you're not wrong, but that's where that's coming from. Is it's more of I'm impressed. The problem is it's coming across in a way where it feels like condescending, kind of.
Yes,
almost?
that's exactly it. And even the sales guy had said, he was like, "Oh, my wife just doesn't do that."
Okay, well,
and his wife is
that
young.
was your choice to have a life like that,
right? His wife is young.
Yep,
and so that also kind of surprised me a little bit. But yes,
because he's 83. No,
they're both really, really young. I don't know how old he is. I would guess 20s. You know?
Oh wow, yeah.
Yes. Wouldn't you guess that he's in his 20s?
I don't know which one we're talking about. So.
Oh, okay. The one I was with on Saturday.
Oh, yeah, 20s, early 30s.
Yeah. Anyway, but yes, it comes off as condescending. So I just think that there needs to be a little shift. And one of my girlfriends, she works for our glass museum here, and she was just telling me on Friday. She said that they've recently had even a recent kind of like marketing / HR meeting about how they even text to each other. She goes, Allie, I didn't realize I was texting not inappropriately, but I was texting in a way that is condescending as well. So she's like, I had to just relearn some things because she said, I work with a lot of Gen Zers and I work with a lot of millennials.
Well, and here's the thing. Neither one of us are the most sensitive people on the planet. So it's really, you got to look at it like, for us, I know exactly where you're feeling it. And again, not making an excuse for them because I just know how this is going. He has seen decades of the other person not being the equal of being, let's say, the 1/3 of whatever it is. And that's not the way it is.
But I'm also like, I've been in this industry since I was 18.
Oh, yeah.
Like, how much longer do I have to prove myself?
Oh, you don't.
I know. But I'm saying,
I mean, I'll take a refill on the coffee, but.
Oh my God.
I'm just kidding. I'm totally kidding.
Oh my gosh. All right. We'll end it there then, because I'm not mad about it. We wish that they would tweak it because it just sounds ishy.
Well, do you feel better knowing now he's doing it more as I'm impressed, even though he hasn't fixed the messaging?
I knew that's what it was.
It's the messaging.
But it's the fact that, like you were saying, it just comes off so condescending.
It's a certain way. Because for you, it's second nature to do your stuff.
Exactly.
You know,
and that's why
you've been doing it for so long and really mastered it. Mastered it to the point that other parts of our company reach to you for answers, which is a total compliment, by the way.
Thank you.
Well, I don't have to sit here and compliment you any higher. I mean, you know.
No. I just wish...
Hey, like we say every morning, can we make this one a little less suck?
How did we get to that in the first place?
What about...
Oh, the 5 words to make you mad.
Yeah, it was the mansplaining. Mansplaining took us there.
Oh, my God. Yeah, don't get me down that road.
The 2 best words, I'll leave you with this. Calm down.
Oh, Jesus. I'm going to punch you.
Right there, messaging.
Right, bye.
Well, that was fun. Wasn't that fun? That was fun. Do us a favor, will you? Subscribe. Share the Scott and Allie Not For Air podcast. Touch our buttons. We know you want to.